Welcome to Papillion UnScripted. I'm Michael Severe. Your chance to hear from some of the folks that truly help make Papillion feel like home. Joining us now, the head of the tourism department for Sarpy County, Fred Huey, joining us here today. How are you doing?
Good. Glad to be able to join you and
We
proud of
appreciate
all the
it.
good things that you guys do here in the community. So
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. How long now have you been the director?
I've been with the county for 34 years, but
Wow.
I actually took over in tourism in 2017. So
Yeah.
I have my 5-year anniversary coming up this October.
How do you like being based out of Warner Park?
Oh, wonderful! I mean, being able to say, get up every morning, I'm going to the ballpark.
Yeah.
Is a something that a lot of people can't say, and it's really the center of things. It's centrally located in the county, easy to get to. Probably 600,000 people go through there between baseball and soccer and special events, road races. So it's pretty nice.
I looked at your LinkedIn, and you've done a lot of jobs, did a lot of different things. But how did you end up becoming director of the Sarpy County Tourism? How did you fall in that job?
Maybe the wrong place at the right time.
Everyone else said no, and you're like, I'll do it.
It's Scott Bovick, our deputy administrator, walked into my office at the courthouse back in October of 17 and says, hey, there's going to be a change of tourism. We need your help. I recall Scott was going to be the interim director, but he was leaving for Lithuania or something like that
wow.
on Thursday for a deal with the School of Public Administration at UNO. So got out there, figured out we were co-hosting the Nebraska Travel Conference in 2 weeks. And Dan Hoynes, our county administrator, always jokes about drinking from the fire hose. And I truly was drinking from the fire hose the first couple months, but I enjoyed it. I'd been involved in community and government relations for the county prior to that, lobbied the legislature, and it was a good change.
Yeah, it certainly is fun at this time because of all the growth, right? I mean, you have a chance to promote a county that's growing faster than almost any other county in the state and constantly bringing in new things.
Yeah, I think, not that my predecessor didn't brand us well, but I think to a lot of people that Sarpy Tourism wasn't really relevant, wasn't on the radar screen, so we've made a concerted effort to get regional attention and branding, and we were fortunate in 2019, we had an all-time record for lodging in Sarpy County, about $42 million, and that same year, visitors to the county spent $207 million, which a lot of people didn't know those figures. I've had people say, well, why is tourism important? Well, those are jobs, that's the tax base, and things to do, quality of life.
Yeah. Let me read the exact phrasing. It says, the Sarpy County Tourism Department promotes Sarpy County as a tourism destination, working with travelers, conventions, and sporting events to your area. How do you make that happen?
We leave no stone unturned. I mean, we were fortunate. We've actually hosted 2 U.S. Quidditch regionals at Papillion Landing. And most people are like Quidditch, they're
That's
familiar
Harry
with
Potter,
Harry
right?
Potter, yes.
Right.
And but it is actually a sport. There
Yeah.
is a U.S. Quidditch, a national governing body, and we discovered them at a sporting conference in Minneapolis back in 2018. And, it was very interesting. The 2021 edition was a little bit cut back because of COVID, but
Yeah.
2019 we had 13 collegiate clubs. I mean, we had Marquette, Illinois State, Iowa, Missouri, KU, Creighton, wide variety of upper Midwest. And I think it's important too because these young athletes, there actually is a pro Quidditch, but most of them aren't going pro.
Right.
And so, these are hardworking students, and to expose them to Papillion and Sarpy County, hopefully they might consider moving here someday as, with our workforce shortage, so, yeah.
You mentioned Papillion Landing. What has that meant in these last few years of having that facility there?
It's been a very good addition. We've hosted several events or been involved in promoting some events there. The Alma invited gymnastics youth tournament that had been in Omaha. And so the first year they moved down to Papillion Landing, they had normally averaged about 500 athletes. And the first year at the Landing, they did 600. Well, then back in 21, we did almost 1,000. And I really thought part of that was COVID related because Minneapolis, Kansas City, they were pretty much shut down. So for the clubs to compete, they had to travel. Well, this past March, we did 1,200 athletes. So it wasn't all totally COVID. I think they liked the facility. It's a good competition. and so it's added a lot. We've done some volleyball events there, and of course with soccer, and the field house and the community center are both just great additions. And for us, I mean, really the only sporting facility that the county owns is Warner Park.
Right.
And there are limits. Marty Cordero very well. Marty does a very good job of keeping the ballpark busy. So, we need the partnerships with our communities, and Papillion Landing has been and the city of Papillion has been a great partner in allowing us to go out and seek events and attract more visitors to the area.
What are some of the events you're excited about that are going to happen in the summer or going into the fall?
Well, it's some of my advertising. I'm kind of doing this. I think people are still ready to get out.
Sure.
With COVID is still out there, but I really think the 22 travel season, just coming off of Memorial Day, where record number of travelers, flyers, even with gas prices, people are still doing road trips, and I've kind of touted it as summer of food, fun, and festivals. And of course, in Papillion, you got the 75th edition of Papillion Days coming up soon, but Bellevue, the Bellevue Community Foundation's doing Bellevue Rocks, the riverfront. Springfield Days is coming up. Gretna Days, the Sarpy County Fair. So there's a lot of community type events that do attract people in that are looking for something a little bit different. And of course, you got Union Omaha and Storm Chasers. So we have a whole summer full of activities. I think so often people forget what's happening in their backyard, so I always encourage people to go to our website and look at our community calendar, gosarpy.com.
Yeah, on this day of taping, I was driving past Sumter, and there was a huge crowd there. I was like, what's going on? I figured it was graduation, but you never know what's going on unless you go, like you mentioned, go to sarpy.gov, or you do something like that, you can be able to find out what's actually going on.
Yeah, it's, people so often, it's like there's nothing to do around here, which I hate.
Yeah.
I mean, I told people, I've had associates say, well, what is there really to do in Sarpy County? And
Right.
20 or 30 minutes later, they're like, okay, we
We know
get
now.
it, get out
Yeah.
and leave us alone. But so I mean, there's a lot to do, and a lot of jewels in our backyard that people forget.
You spent a lot of time around Metro Community College and being involved with that. Why was it important for you to be involved with Metro in that education system?
Well, I've always been a believer in the Metro College mission. It's really about opportunities, and we serve people from students coming back maybe to get it with a GED, getting their high school diploma, to professionals looking for continuing ed, and also a fair number of community classes and just involving people. I was privileged to have served on the board in 2005, 2006. So back in 2019, there was a vacancy on the board, and I was approached by some community leaders that, hey, you really ought to take a look at it. And so I applied and was appointed, reelected, or retained in 2020, and this past January elected chairman of the Board of Governors. So I'm very happy that my fellow board members had faith in my abilities. It's a very exciting time. We own property at Highway 50 and 370, so there will be a new Metro campus being developed. I mean, we're going to take our time and make sure we do it right. Be it's a very large project. I mean, it's estimated probably $280 to $320 million build out by the time it's complete. May not be done during my time frame, but we're going to do our best to make sure that we're meeting the needs and workforce issues and trades. I mean, and we've done a great job of partnering with local school districts, and it's exciting to see that K-12 students are getting excited about the trades. So.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you about, because we hear a lot now about student debt and how much it costs to go to a four-year university, and then we also hear about trying to find people who have jobs. Being a plumber, being an electrician, that's an amazing job, a great career for you. You go to Metro, you get that kind of skill.
You can get out of school pretty quick.
Yeah.
And have a great livelihood. I get the opportunity to talk to high school students. I always tell them, I say, don't get pigeonholed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be working 3 or 4 careers in your life, including careers that possibly aren't even, available today.
Right.
I mean, drone pilots. I mean, who'd ever thought that, there's people taking drone classes, and you think of changes in computer technology and coding schools and stuff. So, and there's been several success stories. I know some people that have, started out as maybe a body auto body person, then have decided to change careers. One I know actually started out Milford Southeast Community College, was involved in the auto body field, decided to go back, get his undergrad, went on to law school, and so it's like, I always tell particularly kids, and well, even kids my age, that we all need to be lifelong learners. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching, is one of my favorite quotes.
That is a very good quote. We have a sheltering tree community that's opening here in Papillion, and I know you were there with your sister. Can you tell us what it means to have a facility like that, to be able to have independent living for?
Well, I think we've been blessed. Yeah, my little sister Becky has Down syndrome, and she's actually living in a senior home now that they waived the age requirement to allow her to be independent. And she had lived with my folks when they were alive, but she wanted to try it on her own, so we actually gave her the opportunity, and she's done quite well. And she is definitely looking forward to the sheltering tree. As you know, the conditions that day of the ground weren't the best, but she had a blast and looking forward. I mean, several of her classmates. I mean, she's a graduate at Papillion La Vista. It's a program for the special needs, and it's quite a blessing to our family. It's like, I say the Down syndromes are just like, it's angels here on earth. So.
Yeah, definitely. And it's come such a long way. I remember a good friend of our family's, and they were talking, 21, 22 was a life expectancy. That's 30 years ago now. Your sister's 43?
Turned 50.
Turned 50, oh my
Turned
goodness,
50.
wow.
They told us years ago that if she got probably into her 30s, she would have she'd probably outlast us.
Right.
So I'm sure she probably will be.
Wow.
But, she's, she goes places. We were at a wedding reception recently, and I swear she danced with everybody in the place.
Right. Yep.
Wore me out. It's like, Jesus, time to go home. Well, Becky's still on the dance floor. So, but, she's been a blessing to the family. Everyone meets her, loves her, and we've been very fortunate.
That's pretty cool. I always ask this question, everyone that's on Papillion Unscripted. Give me something that maybe doesn't get enough attention in Papillion or in Sarpy County. Because we cover a lot of stuff, but is there something that we don't give enough attention to that you want to point out?
Well, again, I think just the jewels in our own backyard. I mean, people forget. I think during COVID, families were going outside more. I mean, there was more fishing licenses, but you think of the dam sites, the lakes in the Papillion area. I mean, whether even Halleck Park, but I mean, you've got Portal and Big Elk have opened recently. Fontenelle Forest is one of my happy places. People are like, I thought it was Werner Park. I said, yeah, they're both happy places. One I've got crowds, one I've got tranquility. Schramm State Park, their new education center. I always encourage people to go down and meet Big Snap Daddy, the 90-pound snapping turtle that's, I think, 90 pounds and 90 years old. It's
Wow.
the largest snapping turtle in captivity in the country. And the trail system. I mean, just if you want to get outside, and we are blessed, location's everything, being part of the metro area. You can have, whether it be some of the Broadway productions at the Orpheum, the College World Series coming up, or the peace and quiet of the more rural areas of Sarpy County. So it's just, years ago, I know the Parks and Recreation Department had a slogan, "Life, be at it." And I think that's
Nice.
very, very important. So there's a lot to do. The facilities in this community, in this area, are outstanding, whether it be libraries or, the school system's great, Parks and Rec. A lot to do, so go out and enjoy it.
You got the trail system in there. We have to say mountain biking every time because certain people in our apartments.
I worry about Trenton all the time. I see some of his video, and I think he's just going to probably have this huge crash and go on disability for a while or something. But
he's broken stuff.
yeah, I've seen some of that. So, but there's so many opportunities. I mean, you think of the horse trails and stuff in the county, and so I mean, whatever your interest, you can go out and experience it. And I always urge people to explore.
That's cool. Yeah. And again, it's gosarpy.gov, right?
GoSarpy.com.
.com, my fault.
The courthouse is still .gov.
Right.
We're still .com. Some issues with the domain name and stuff and security levels. But so GoSarpy.com.
But all the information there, what's going on.
Correct.
Great. Fred, we appreciate it.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Thanks
again.
a lot.
So thanks for having us.
Join us again next time where we again speak to someone who truly helps make Papillion feel like home.